timeouts remaining.
He causes too many timeouts. That's a technical foul.
They have a timeout.
The buzzer can do so.
I don't think they had a timeout. Did they have the one left?
There'll be a technical foul.
Welcome to No Timeouts Left, hosted by Coach Klein and Matthew Ussery.
Alrighty, welcome back to No Timeouts Left, episode 20. I'm here once again. This is Coach Klein along with a special guest, Mr. Money Mike Phillips.
What up, y'all? I'm back.
What's been going on, man?
Been chilling, dude. Working,
Sweet.
doing my thing. Watching some sports.
I feel that. Oh, that's what this is all about, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you did that. Come prepared.
Yeah, I tried.
Come prepared with that Vander Esch jersey there.
Yes,
I see
sir.
Rocking the Cowboys gear 100% today.
Not biased at all. At all.
Well, oddly enough, we will be talking about the Cowboys quite a bit today. We'll also be talking
I knew it.
Champs versus Chumps. We got one sent in online, and we've got some NBA news regarding Jeremy Lin, Team USA, and some signings. We'll also talk NFL news with holdouts, injuries, and a whole lot more. So we will start, as usual, with Champs versus Chumps. First champ of the week for me personally is Eli Manning for firing back at Odell Beckham Jr. With I gotta get your opinion on this. I love this little sly quote he said in an interview. He said, "I won a few games before he got here."
Oh.
Kind of referring to those two big ass Super Bowl rings on his hand.
Yeah, we got here with what was his name? David Tyree. So I think we'll be fine.
Right? Yeah. OBJ, I mean, you're an incredible athlete, but you think you are far more special than you really are. Just my opinion. Just saying.
Oh, he's great, but big old head.
My first chump of the week is Sergio Garcia acting a fool on the golf course as per usual. This isn't the first time that I've heard this, mentioned this, talked about it, been annoyed by it. There's a sweet video of him just absolutely slamming a driver head into a tee box. It's complete disrespect to a course, just wrecking it, not cool. Why is this guy on the tour? I get he's good.
That's like a dad at the little league game type stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Put my kid in the game.
He acts like a child and has been proven to say racist comments. So we'll skip that. That was quite some time ago, so we won't dive into that. But
once a racist, always a racist, man.
Yeah, yeah, he must be. Let's see. How about you? Give me a champ, Mike.
Champ, I'm thinking Max Holloway, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, UFC. The dude is a featherweight fighter in the UFC. Just defended his belt against legend Frankie Edgar, and he actually pretty much dominated the whole fight. He was keeping him at bay, stuffing the takedowns, perfect little jabs, check hooks, uppercuts. The dude was just dominating the whole time, and I was impressed. I mean, he's now the record holder, multiple different records in the featherweight division. One of which his win streak is up to 13 now. That's a new record. I know he holds the record in significant strikes. I mean, the dude just keeps coming, so there's no way he wasn't going to get that record eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty impressive, especially for him to take down Frankie Edgar. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's hard not to know that name.
Oh, dude. I mean, Frankie's a legend. He said he wanted to show his son that it doesn't matter if you're short, you can still win.
Right.
So that was kind of sad that he got his butt handed to him the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I think he's won enough.
But I mean, you're getting there's no shame in losing to a guy like Max Holloway.
Yeah, and I'm sure if his son goes back and watches the majority of his career, he would still think that.
There's more than enough.
Yeah, I don't think this one.
I
don't think this is one fight enough to cause that to be any different.
No, sir.
All right, hit me with a champ.
Sorry,
a chump.
A chump. Let me see here. What are we working with?
About what'd you tell me about Drake Davis earlier?
Oh, Drake Davis. This guy. Okay, he's the former wide receiver for LSU. He he's broken a woman's ribs before. Like he's done several just different horrible acts to women. Like the guy's just low down, and he's recently been charged another time. I can't quite remember the story. Let me see, just one second. I'm doing some research. Sorry, man.
No, you're good.
He's got such a long rap sheet that like I couldn't remember the whole
Oh
thing.
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm not surprised you don't remember. It's
That's why I sent you the link because I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna need this later.
this guy's got a record on him. Obviously, I mean, kind of like I said last week, it's kind of Pac-Man-ish. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just-
I mean, he's allegedly pushing and grabbing his girlfriend. Arrested about 3:30 a.m. after a witness claimed an argument between Davis and his girlfriend turned physical, which isn't the first time. I mean, there's video evidence. She admitted that Davis grabbed her arm and pushed her after learning she'd communicated with another man. So apparently he's got a very short fuse.
and it solved nothing. That's
Yeah,
what I was looking for.
absolutely
Yeah.
nothing.
The silence was good. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's nothing.
I mean,
Um,
the dude's he's never going to play football again. And I mean, he's even got,
I'm okay with that. If that's who he is, then I'm okay with that.
yeah.
It's kind of like Greg Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
Can't like we were
I
talking
wish-
about last week. There's plenty of people that want to see him get his ass knocked out. I'm
Oh,
one of
yeah.
them.
Oh, yeah. I would love that. Let Drake Davis be in the UFC and get his face beat in. I'd love to see that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to look up his other charges, they're also just as horrific. You can find them on ESPN or something. I'm sure.
How about we flip it and go with another chump and back to champ and we'll stay on UFC. How about Dana White calling Cyborg Wanderlei in a suit?
In a dress.
Or sorry,
dress.
yeah, in a dress. Wow. That,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, either way.
Yeah. I mean, either way, Wanderlei Silva's not. He's a manly man, and you're comparing this woman, and I mean that just hurts her brand overall. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are just gonna like look at her like she's not the incredible athlete she is.
Right.
And I think that's
No longer the majority owner of UFC, but you're still in a prominent position enough
Exactly.
to not say things like that.
exactly. You gotta hold your tongue in those situations. You can say stuff like that to your friends, but if you know like people important are around, they're gonna hear that stuff. You know, like everybody jokes. Like we've all seen Cyborg. We all know. Like, she looks like a beast. Like she could whoop you up and down, but she's still a woman.
I wouldn't say what he said to her face.
No,
I'll tell you
no,
that.
No.
I wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be a good idea
I mean,
for
she's
anybody.
still a woman. She still has feelings. So
Yeah, I
think-
mean, just anyone in general. It's just not a necessary comment, especially by someone in that position, like I said.
that just doesn't make it. Just puts a black eye on the whole UFC for a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
And that was like their last fight in her contract. She said she's not coming back until she gets that apology from Dana White.
hey, that's reasonable.
I mean, Joe Rogan's even had comments about her, and I've heard that he made a few jokes, said she looked like a man in the ring or whatever, and he actually privately apologized to her. So at least do that. At least like extend the apology out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be a public thing. Like just show a little respect.
Honorary champ, just because I saw this segment the other day. Speaking of Joe Rogan being the host of Fear Factor on the Chappelle Show,
Yeah.
I saw that the other day, and I had forgotten about this scene.
Oh, dude.
It's pretty hilarious.
Joe Rogan's the best.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, for sure. We'll switch back over to champs. I gotta spout one out real quick. It's a personal one that you may not know about. Doug McDonald and John Alba from Living the Gimmick. It's a wrestling podcast. They just made it to 200 episodes, double syndication.
Hey.
If you're a wrestling fan and you want an informative and creative and entertaining podcast about wrestling that's fun to listen to with good music and everything in between, go check them out. They're recording while we're recording, so
Hey.
congrats to you guys on 200 episodes.
Podcast, bro.
You know. So let's see. Let's hit another chump. How about Jalen Ramsey being a complete clown and showing up to training camp in a ring strap?
Oh, gosh.
Did you see that?
No, did you see AB? AB did a similar thing. He showed up in a hot air balloon, man. What is up with these, like,
What does that do?
Like, what are you, Mary Poppins, dude? Get out of here.
What
Like,
does that
what's going
do? I
on?
mean, what does that accomplish?
The ultimate flex.
I get making an entrance, but it's training camp, bro. It's not the Super Bowl. If you showed up to the Super Bowl in a hot air balloon, I
Yeah.
might be a little entertained by that.
Like,
But you're showing up
step
to
it up a notch,
training
though.
camp.
Like, show up like riding a tiger with like a sword in your hand, then I'll be impressed. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that would be a little intense, but I'd be cool with that.
and the tiger's just got like a chain around its neck. So you're like that badass.
All right, you're going all out
Yeah.
with this. This sounds
Yeah.
like a Jalen Ramsey
That's
pipe
in there.
dream.
Yeah, dude. He's thought of it several times already.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Let's hop over to baseball. This is definitely worth mentioning. A awesome champ in my eyes. Orioles outfielder Stevie Wilkerson becomes the first ever position player to record a save in a game as a pitcher, throwing no ball over 60 miles an hour
Oh yeah, I saw that.
in a 14-inning game.
That was crazy.
That is insane. And you think about how long baseball's been around, how long Major League Baseball's been around, a long time, and no one's done that. Nobody's done that. Think of how many games have gone 14 plus innings, and nobody's done that.
That's insane. That is insane, dude. Like,
Yeah.
imagine just like it has to be like it just throwing them off. It's like throwing the ultimate like curveball when you just switch it up from going like 90 to 100 miles an hour, and then it's 60 miles per hour every time. It's like their gauge has got to be a little bit off by that.
You're trained to
know?
hit a ball you can't see.
So when you can see it, it's
You
like,
have no idea what to do.
like-
And it's fun. It was kind of funny to watch. You could see some of these guys struggling to wait on that ball to get there. It was just
They didn't
painful.
even want to take a swing half the time. I saw so many strikes like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they were just like, do I go?
Do I
go now?
hit this out of the park or like?
Do I turn here? Do I turn here? My friend used to do that on drives all the time.
Everybody's friend.
Yeah, that's true. Gotta mention Alex Wawa at the Real Waweezy yet again sends in some champs and chumps. His champ for the week is LeBron for being a good father, showing up to his kids' games and being noticeably excited for when they make good plays.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but that is admirable.
Yeah.
I cannot discredit him for that.
You can't not love like a good dad.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's-
especially someone in the position of him.
oh yeah.
I mean,
He could
because
be
a
doing
lot of guys.
million other things.
Yeah, and a lot of guys in that position kind of don't do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
some
like-
some guys do. I'm not saying nobody does.
They get that like I'm the provider mentality. They're just like, all right, like I'm going to make some money.
Yeah,
Like, the maid will
and
take care of
you
you
take that money and do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
you want some new shoes? I got you, but I won't be here to teach you how to play basketball. Like,
Right, you got to figure that one out on your own. Build your own legacy.
that's why a lot of like athletes' sons don't make it. Like you'll never see like Michael Jordan Jr. or something out there. Like, he's off doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Alex Wawa's chump of the week is everyone that lost $3 million to a 16-year-old at Fortnite. I know nothing.
oh yeah, I saw the video of this.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the kid actually like he won easily in some like crazy Fortnite tournament. These esports are getting out of hand, and it was like $3.5 million or something like that they were giving away.
Wow.
I think it might have been like 3.3, something around there. But the kid won, and I remember seeing the announcer say something like, "He won this match, and he didn't even try." Basically, like it was something like that, you know? Like it was just crazy.
That sounds completely unfair.
Yeah, you know.
Which I
like,
could see in the video game world. Some kids are just
That's the ultimate troll. Is like,
naturally gifted.
yeah,
I
mean,
guess.
it's just easier for little kids. They can turn their mind off and not have to worry about like, oh, I have to be in bed in 2 hours because I got to be at work. Like,
Yeah,
there's like
right.
video games. $3 million. Okay, I want to go play some Fortnite again. Bye.
I was gonna say I remember those days as a kid until you said the $3 million part. I don't remember that.
Imagine, dude, if we could have got paid to play Sonic, I would have been the man.
Oh, you're killing
Mario
me.
Kart?
Crash Bandicoot, dog.
No, Crash Bandicoot.
You're killing me.
Give
I'm
me some
halfway through
Mario
the trilogy right now, actually.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. They kind of like stole the like kind of map thing from Mario, dude. Like that's what I felt like.
yeah. Yep, they did. Let's close out champs versus chumps with two more chumps, both in the NFC East. We'll start with the Giants.
Okay.
How many receivers are hurt?
3.
3.
Too many.
That's a lot to start training camp when it's also your top 3.
Most teams are only keeping like 6 or 7.
Right,
tops.
but it's their top 3 receivers,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Sterling Shepard. Who else we got?
Golden Tate.
Golden Tate's out now.
Who was the other one?
Gosh, what's his name? Why are you so forgettable? Corey Clement.
Oh yeah.
Corey Coleman.
Yeah.
Coleman.
Yeah.
Why I always forget him. He's got such an easy name. That's why you forget.
Yeah. Yeah, we were discussing complicated names in sports a little bit ago, and we might have to do a segment on that one day because
Oh God.
there are some names, man.
Just try and go through and pronounce them all. Like so you can do it right.
You can go into hockey.
First try.
You can go into baseball. There's some tricky ones. You can go into basketball. There's some tricky ones, as we have discussed on this show before. Giannis, for example.
We should also go over like how ridiculous some of the names of the teams are. Like
Yeah, I would love.
like,
I would love to
everything.
do that, but I would love to do that with like a couple of people on
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a full-on discussion right there.
There's literally a basketball team named the Nets, and that's just
Way too
stupid to
simple.
me. Like, the baskets. Like, what are we doing here? Come on.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap Chance versus Chumps up with Mike's favorite topic of the day, and then as soon as we do that, we're gonna hop right in the NFL news because we're gonna look at this a little in depth.
I'm already sad.
The Dallas Cowboys, fallen from grace of the mid '90s. Jerry Jones,
Like, stop.
Ezekiel Elliott, the police department of the city of Dallas. What are you doing?
Man.
Let's start with Zeke. Actually, no, let's start with the news that we're hearing today that there is a lawsuit based upon the alleged incident that the Cowboys and the police department conspired to cover up not cover up, but kind of
Play down.
downplay a car crash in 2017 involving Ezekiel Elliott just so he could play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not cool.
I appreciate it, but not cool.
Not cool. I think Mike would have appreciated it more if you guys didn't possibly get caught.
Like, be a little more sneaky or something.
And Jerry
dude.
Jones won for letting that happen. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Just Jerry Jones in general. Like, I can go on all day.
I mean, the dude just wanted to keep his running back. I understand.
And then
at the
his
end of the
running
day.
back turns around and wants to hold out.
Yeah.
After
I don't-
all that.
Like, come on, man.
If
Like,
if
it's
I've
helped you
ever
so many times.
Yeah, and
So
if I've
many.
ever seen a team be loyal, Jerry Jones was loyal to Emmitt Smith until one day he decided he wasn't.
Yeah. Just
And I know he didn't show Emmitt Smith that kind of loyalty.
no.
That's pretty loyal if you're doing, and
talking
it
about
may
a
not
dude-
necessarily be Jerry directly, the
Talking about a
Cowboys
dude
organization.
Got rid of one of the best coaches in the league after getting back-to-back Super Bowls with him. I mean,
Yeah.
cut him like loose was like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
That's my number one argument of Jerry Jones is you screwed up the Jimmy Johnson dynasty.
Yeah.
You stopped it. We could have had an. Never mind. I'm
Troy
not gonna
Aikman
get
will
into
never
this.
forgive you.
Yeah, this is true. The Barry Switzer days.
Oh God, I could go on about that guy.
Well, we're running into the NFL news, obviously. Also, got to say, Jerry Jones kind of biting back at Zeke a little bit today.
yeah.
I think it was today. He said, "You don't have to have a rushing champ to win a Super Bowl."
I mean, honestly, he's kind of accurate because I looked at the stats and the dude's right. Jerry Jones is right. There's only been 4 times it's ever been done that the rushing champion has gone on to win a Super Bowl. And the last time was Terrell Davis with the Broncos.
That's one of 4.
Yeah, 1 of 4.
Who were
other
the other
3
three?
times, Emmitt Smith, greatest of all time.
Oh wait, didn't he play for
the
Jerry
Cowboys.
Jones?
Yeah, it's kind of ooh.
Hey, maybe you should check your facts before you speak, bro.
Yeah.
I know you got a nice TV to watch your games on in Jerry World, but man,
It's just
maybe
like-
that screen's kind of frying your
Man,
brain. What?
Like,
What are you doing?
he's catching a tan is what he's doing.
The UV rays coming off of the great.
Yeah, dude.
What do they call that screen? Don't they have a name for it?
The Jumbotron. I just always call them Jumbotrons.
Right. I thought they had like a certain name for it. I'm blanking out.
Mega screen.
If any of you listening think of it, please send it to me because it's going to bug the crap out of me the rest of this show.
Yep. Pretty much.
Obviously, when you listen to this later, not right now.
Dude, Jerry Jones, man, come on. Like, history repeats itself. You already got one of the best running backs in the league. Go ahead and pay the man.
Literally knows history repeats itself. Didn't he win back-to-back Super Bowls?
Yeah. And then, like, took
You
off
can't
a
get
year
any
and then
more
won another
repeating
one.
history than that.
Yeah, come on. Come on, dude. And it's like this is the closest to the triplets we've been since then.
So who's more in the wrong here? You got Zeke, you got the Cowboys, and then you got Jerry Jones. Who is on the top of your list
My
here?
blame mountain.
Yeah, as to who would you look at in the eye more so and say, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? Zeke for holding out after all that, the Cowboys for doing that in the first place, or even showing interest in retaining Zeke, if you want to look at it that way, or Jerry Jones spouting out yet another ignorant quote as he does here and there.
I'm thinking Zeke did. Like,
Yeah.
Zeke definitely is
go
the
with
one
that.
I'm the most frustrated with because it seems like, I mean, just time and time again, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have had Zeke's back over and over and over. He's had so many incidences. They've covered up for him, allegedly. They've, like, backed him. They've tried to get his sentences reduced in his game suspensions and all that. Like, even when he came back, Jerry Jones embraced him, and it was all, like, sunshine and rainbows and stuff, you know? And now it's just like, you won't even take a little less money after all this? Like, you're not... I don't think any other organization's going to put up with it, regardless of the production, you know?
Right.
After a while, it's just like enough's enough.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The baggage is too much, too heavy.
you're getting to be on the twilight of your career with all the carries you're getting anyway.
Yep.
Might as well cash
Especially in
try
today's
and get a
world.
Super Bowl and end up in the Hall of Fame.
2 to 4 years is
You
your
know?
window
Like,
as a running back.
exactly.
Well, let's move on and talk about some more holdouts. So, of course, you got Ezekiel Elliott in Dallas. Said Jadeveon Clowney's holding out in Houston for a franchise tag.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
That's a big deal for them. He's not the anchor for their defense, obviously, with J.J. Watt.
yeah. I mean, but he's scheduled to make like 15, 16 million or something on that franchise
It ain't enough,
tag.
man.
Yeah, apparently not.
It's never enough.
I mean, but he is holding it down while JJ's been hurt.
Right.
He's been the man
Yeah.
every time.
I wouldn't say he doesn't deserve that money. I wouldn't say that.
He's had a few injuries here and there.
Yeah, but he's actually kind of moved on past that.
Yeah.
As he's gotten older, it's kind of the reverse. He started off getting hurt a good bit, and now it seems
like
a little bit less.
The Drew Brees syndrome.
Yeah, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Just throwing that out
He's
there.
the man. The Chargers hate themselves every day. You know,
I mean,
a little bit.
not to get too off topic here, but Philip Rivers isn't necessarily bad. I gotta say he's played with. Now his early days, he had great teams. And how close he got.
True.
But think of if he still had teams of that caliber, which I think
The
now
LT days, man.
now might be the closest he's been since LT.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and Junior Seau and that whole squad. I mean, that was a
Having
hell of a
Melvin
squad.
Gordon now, and
Yeah.
they had Antonio Gates in his prime. I
Yeah,
mean, that
they're
dude's a monster.
they're rebuilding, but I mean, his career is on the downhill side.
That's
so
sad to see because he was just such a monster for
Yeah.
so long.
He's one I was hoping would get it, and I don't know that it's going to happen at this rate, but who knows?
Yeah.
You never know. So let's see, Michael Thomas, that's a big one down in New
Speaking of the
Orleans.
Saints.
Yep, one of Drew Brees' favorite targets. In fact, what was that stat you said earlier?
He set records in receptions and receiving yards for that team. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was like 125, 135 receptions
Yeah.
and 1,400 something yards.
Yeah.
And nobody else on the team, wide receiver or tight end wise, had more than 35 receptions.
That's crazy.
That's
You mean
insane.
just that season, right?
Just that season.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
which is crazy to think because Drew Brees spreads the ball so well.
Oh, yeah. But most of those targets now are going to Alvin Kamara. So a lot of those receivers are getting their Their little receptions chinked at.
Yep,
Chinked
that's
at,
true.
I mean.
That's
know.
true.
How many did Kamara have last year? At least, he had a lot. It was
I don't know.
a lot.
Let's see. Melvin Gordon, speaking of the Chargers,
Yep.
also holding out, as he should, because he deserves a better deal than he's getting, because he's still on his rookie deal, right?
Yeah. He's only
That's hard to
scheduled to make
believe.
like $5 million or something like that. He's in the final year of his contract, the rookie one.
Well,
He's made it a
I'm
long
sure
way.
if he just waits it out and plays the year, which as a running back, that is the question. Do you want to play another year and risk getting hurt and then not making the money, or do you want to hold out, save your body, and maybe get the money?
Yeah.
I mean, that's for the
feel
running
like-
backs. I get that to that point.
My decision is going to be made when we see how Le'Veon Bell does this year, honestly,
Yeah.
because he's like the blueprint. Like, we get to see if one of the highest level running backs can take a whole year off and then come back and still produce. That's what I want to know.
That hadn't really happened much, although Ricky Williams took a couple years off.
Yeah, and he
and
was
did well when he came back.
very successful. when he
Different
came back.
situation, but similar idea
Oh yeah,
to a point. And then you got Trent
Ricky
Williams.
run.
Yep. Speaking of the Saints, they traded their whole draft for him.
Oh yeah.
Trent Williams, offensive tackle for the Redskins, also holding out.
That's gonna hurt that development of that rookie quarterback they got there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
RG3?
Haskins.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, my bad.
They got Dwayne Haskins, right? Yeah.
I say that because we were talking injuries, which we'll kind of hop into as well right now. RG3, he mentioned his name on the injury report. And my first question is, he's still in the league? I completely forgot that he was playing for Baltimore.
Yeah, dude. He actually did pretty well in preseason last year. I was surprised.
You know what? I remember that now.
Yep.
Now that you say that.
He was doing pretty solid. Would never get him on my fantasy league or anything,
No.
but
No chance. No chance.
the accuracy problems are still there.
Big facts, big reason. I would not have him on my fantasy team. I mean, here's an example on my notes here. I have RG3 listed as always hurt.
Duh.
No offense, man. It sucks to see. I thought he was a great quarterback before he got hurt, and I hated watching that play where he was in the knee brace and dove for the ball. And yeah, it's just
Yeah.
that was
knee-
rough, man.
That knee looked like a noodle.
Such a shame, man, because he had a lot of upside.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
what Michael Vick would have been had Michael Vick not gone the route he did.
Man, if he wasn't related to Mr. Glass, he would have been all
Yeah,
right.
Right. Another notable injury came out today. AJ Green torn a ligament in the ankle. He's out for a while too.
Yeah, he decided
Not
to go ahead
good.
and get the surgery. I think he had to.
Yeah, I mean you have to at that
Yeah.
point because it's either don't and probably not play all season or do it and not play probably half the season.
Maybe half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is not going to help the
Even then,
Bengals
them-
whatsoever.
Them first two games when you're coming back as a wide receiver and you ain't got that speed you're used to, that explosion, you're kind of hesitating.
Yep.
Because if you've ever had a foot or an ankle injury, it's like that fear of doing it again is in the back of your head constantly.
Yeah. Another receiver listed as questionable is Julio Jones, sitting out all of preseason, probably just conserving him.
Yeah. Probably smart.
I would.
I mean, we found out he was 30 years old on the last podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ice them knees,
Yeah.
sit down.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get us another 1,500 yards this year.
Don't need to push him into a Calvin Johnson early retirement.
No.
We don't need that.
Just let him chill and do his thing.
Yeah.
Let him pull a Kawhi. Just, you want to sit out? You can sit out, bro. It's
Yep.
okay.
LJ Collier for the Seattle Seahawks on a play blocking got a high ankle sprain, and those are no fun. So I'm not exactly sure how long he'll be out, but he'll be out for a while. And
At least a few weeks.
yet another receiver, another notable name as of late, Tyreek Hill with a bruised quad. Nothing major, but I mean, his
Nothing to
name
worry
keeps
about.
popping up. So
Always.
yeah,
This dude cannot stay out of the headlines.
yeah, for one reason or another.
Yeah. Most of them negative.
Yeah, there hadn't been a whole lot of
Wait till the
positive for him
season
lately.
starts before the positive ones start coming back.
Yeah. And then we'll round up our little rapid-fire injury report here with Derrick Henry, calf injury.
Ugh,
But
to see
it sounds like it's not too serious, but they are being cautious with it, which I would. I mean,
Smart.
that's your Hoss back there.
He's a big dude.
Derrick Henry had one of the best, 99, 98-yard runs ever.
99.
Yeah.
99, yeah.
All the way.
The
All the way.
Stiff-arming several defenders on the way there.
Yeah, it was like beast mode, but long distance.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
That was like that. Just thinking about that puts a smile on my
It was also
face.
one of the slowest plays I've ever seen. I feel
yeah.
like it just took forever
And it
for him to get
developed
through
so
everybody.
slow, too. Like,
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll take a quick break and we will come back and talk some NBA news, and then we're going to close out the show.
I'm Ty Yeager, and I want to introduce you to the Rise Up podcast community, a community for podcasters created by podcasters, dedicated to the promotion and growth of podcasts everywhere. Rise Up is not a network. There are no contracts and no control over your content. Just a vessel for you to spread the word of your work and connect with fellow podcasters to collaborate, create, and promote. And guess what? It doesn't cost you a single cent to join the community. Join the Rise Up podcast community today by visiting our website at bit.ly/riseuppodcommunity and follow the community on Twitter at RUPodCommunity. Again, that's bit.ly/riseuppodcommunity and at RUPodCommunity on Twitter. Come and join the community of podcasts and rise up with us. Rise Up Podcast Community.
Alrighty, welcome back. We are on the second half of No Timeouts Left, episode 20. We're here to talk a little bit of basketball in general. We'll start with the NBA. Had a couple of signings this week. You had, was it today, CJ McCollum?
Yes, sir.
Signed 3-year, $100 million deal.
100 mil.
So along with Damian Lillard, that's a lot of money invested.
A lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm mistaken, but I think they need some big men on that team for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably a true statement.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of teams are doing this nowadays where they just take two players and just dump all their money into them and just hope for the best when it comes to all the other players on the squad, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. Well, and you see a little bit of that in the NFL as well nowadays. You see a lot of big contracts that kind of freeze up the rest of the team.
Oh, yeah. And it could just be like 4 or 5 guys when it's the NFL. You hand out a couple of fat contracts and then
there
down
goes,
the road,
yeah,
you're like, oh, man, I forgot about this guy
it was
and this guy.
very apparent in the Madden leagues I used to play in.
Oh, yeah. You'd spend all this money just to retain one dude.
We'd have guys make all these trades. I'm going to throw Matthew under the bus here.
Uh-oh.
For spending an entire night awake, literally pulling a Jimmy Johnson, trading his whole team, and then even retaining some of those players in the same night. That was ridiculous. Anyways, I'm
Skills, man.
way off the charts
You gotta
here.
be wheeling and dealing sometimes.
That's way off topic. I'm sorry. Let's get back to basketball. Trey Burke signs with the 76ers, but the terms were not disclosed, so we don't know what he signed for or how long, but I think that's a good signing.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, usually when they don't disclose the terms, they're like trying to hide how little they actually paid for him. I feel
Yeah,
like.
and he's a veteran,
Yeah.
and
He's always been a little underrated in my opinion.
yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, he's always been a solid hand.
Not
so.
like anybody that's gonna wow you, but he can put points on the board. He can get a little assists, and he can play a little defense.
Team
That's
player.
all you really need. Like,
all around team player.
you can just rotate him in when you need him.
Yeah. Well, and there haven't really been too many big signings this week. Not too much big news in the NBA right now.
Yeah, super quiet.
It was kind of cool seeing Zion throw some footballs in
Yeah,
New Orleans.
that's
That was
pretty sweet.
a cool little clip. If you haven't seen that, go watch
Got a bit
it.
of a cannon on him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big dude, though. I
No
was not
surprise.
surprised, no.
No surprise. Any other news that you can think of NBA wise?
No, not really. I mean, besides the U.S. men's basketball team, I'd say that's pretty big, in my opinion.
Yeah. That is definitely kind of a topic right now. It's a solid lineup, but it's not
Not like
what it
the
used to
years
be.
past
You know, like
at
the
all.
Dream Team or any of the more notable recent teams of, the past, decade or so.
I mean, hell, we even look back to, like, 2016 with Jimmy Butler, Kevin Durant.
Has LeBron ever played on Team USA?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
early, right?
Yeah,
When he was
early
younger.
on in his
Yeah,
career.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. I knew that.
I think it was 2014 when he decided to come on.
Yeah.
Very, very solid. No, 2012.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So here's your lineup. You got Harrison Barnes, Jaylen Brown, Andre Drummond, Montrezl. How do you say his name?
Oh, Montrezl Harrell.
Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, Brooke Lopez, Kyle Lowry, Chris Middleton, Donovan Mitchell, Mason Plumlee, Julius Randle, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, PJ Tucker, Miles Turner, Kemba Walker, and Thaddeus Young.
I don't know if it's a winning squad. I mean, you got Greg Popovich on the
Yeah,
staff.
Popovich, Kerr, and Lloyd Pierce all on that coaching
Pop's head
staff.
coaching?
Yeah.
Oh, Kerr with the assistant job.
Yeah, with Lloyd Pierce right behind him. I mean,
Not bad.
I mean, Jason Biles is there as an athletic trainer. It's a pretty solid team.
I wouldn't say anybody's like a star.
Exactly. You don't have your big name stars. You don't have Steph Curry. You
No.
don't have Kevin Durant. You don't have LeBron. You don't. Well,
You don't
I
even
was gonna
have
say
Kevin
Dwayne Wade,
Love, and
done.
he's not even a star. He decided not to do it.
Yeah, that's right. He did, didn't he?
Yep. I
Man.
mean, a lot of these guys, it's injuries that they're worried about because they are in
Yeah.
like the twilight of their career.
It's similar to the Pro Bowl effect in the NFL.
Oh yeah, they're not going to try.
After a while, the game became so meaningless. It's like,
Uh-huh.
why go out there and risk hurting myself and missing out on money later?
Exactly.
Which is smart, but I mean, this
Yeah.
game is part of it.
Yeah, entertainment's part of the game.
Yeah.
Like that's basically how you're able to get paid in the first place is because we watch it because we like it. You know?
Right.
Like, give us a show. Put the best dunkers in the dunk competition. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
that's what I really want to see.
Yeah, that's something LeBron hasn't done.
I don't understand that at all.
I
Until
don't
you do
either. I have never understood that.
I mean, I just don't like. How can you be the GOAT if you got to compete in at least one of them? You know?
Yeah, I mean, part of what made MJ the GOAT was he crushed that competition
Yeah.
every time.
Oh yeah, the dude was a monster. I mean, you don't really see the best dunkers in the dunk competition since like maybe Zach LaVine was probably the best dunker in the league when he was doing it.
Yeah.
He was amazing, killed it. But other than that, you kind of see just whoever feels like doing it, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like Michael Jordan did so many good dunks in the dunk contest that it took the bar so high
Oh yeah.
that for ever since then, I was going to say for years, but pretty much ever since then, it's kind of hard to get that kind of excitement out of the dunk
yeah.
contest because, I mean, Michael Jordan was it.
The last time I was really excited was when Dwight Howard and Nate Robinson were in it.
Yes.
And Nate Robinson decided to dunk over Dwight. That was tight,
Yep.
even though there was a little hand touch there.
I'm not a huge Dwight fan, but yes.
Yeah.
And
when he put the cape
well,
on.
he was still with Orlando at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a Dwight Howard fan back then.
Did he had like a prop, like he had like a phone booth in like come out or something like that, or he put on the Superman cape at some point, and then he dunked on a goal that was like 2 feet higher.
Yeah,
than regular. That was
yeah.
a crazy dunk.
I'd have to go back and watch that. I can't remember exactly what
I
happened.
remember just like jaw dropping on that one. That was crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible.
Hey man, that's
Dwight
part of it.
Howard for you.
Yeah,
With
exactly.
his long arms.
Yep. So, no more signings for the NBA. One thing we forgot to mention that we were going to talk about for a little bit is someone who hasn't been signed, and that's Jeremy Lin.
Oh yeah,
Man,
Jeremy Lin.
Linsanity, kind of getting the cold shoulder.
Yeah, dude, that's a sad story. I mean, Jeremy Lin went from being like the hype of the NBA. Like everybody was talking about this kid, this Asian kid just coming in, killing it. Nobody expected him to be able to do it how he was doing it, you know? Like I said do it really weird, but that was funny.
Right. Jeremy Lin, he's a solid piece to your team.
Yeah, and just the past
Didn't he just win a championship? with the Raptors.
But he only averaged 3 minutes in the playoff series.
Yeah, that is true. Which
Dude wasn't
I don't
doing
get
much.
that. I mean, do they just
they
not
had-
see anything in him anymore? Or what's going on
I
there?
guess not. I don't know. Maybe the drive's not there anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes when you reach that peak, it's hard to just maintain, you know?
True.
The wheels start falling off the wagon eventually.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's been on 8 different teams in the past 9 seasons.
Man.
And he's only averaged 11 and a half points, 4 assists in his career. And he hasn't started more than 3 games in a season since 2016 with the Brooklyn Nets. That's sad.
Wow.
After being, like, he went from the highest high to the lowest low. He even was quoted saying, he said, let's see, something about rock bottom. Yep. He said, but in English, there's a saying, and it says, once you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. Said, but rock bottom just seems to keep getting more and more rock bottom for me. So free agency has been tough. He feels like the NBA's kind of given up on him. Sad, man.
That's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little depression setting in there is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully he finds a team that needs him. I mean, there's always point guards going down during the season. Somebody's bound to come calling, you know?
Yep.
He did have, 11 points and 4 assists isn't bad. Like, there's a lot of guys out there that would average way less than that.
Yeah, right.
But, he hasn't started in a long time. Like, not more than 3 games.
Yep.
That's sad. I keep saying that, but I really liked the dude when he first came out.
Right.
With the Knicks, he was just amazing.
Yeah, Linsanity was real, man.
And it was like he was just jacking up threes, too. He didn't care.
Yep. He was on it.
He had a drive from hell, too. Like, he would just come in the lane and just throw it up there. Like, layups all day. Solid point guard. But, it happens. Ups and downs. That's sports.
It is. Yeah. Well, that's a shame. Hope the best for him. Hope this isn't the end for him. Hope he kind of has a little resurrection of his career there. I would love to see that. If not, sorry, man. That sucks to see. Yeah. Let's do a little closing segment this week and do top 3 things to watch this week. Doesn't even have to be sports related. Let's just say anything. I'm going to say, obviously, the Hall of Fame game, the first preseason game. Was that August 1st?
Yeah. That's what, Thursday?
Yep.
Thursday, man.
And today is Tuesday. So this podcast will probably be out Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So be sure to watch the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, yeah. UFC Fight Night coming up on Saturday.
Yep.
That's always a good one. I mean, I don't know who's on this card necessarily. It's the Colby Covington fight. Colby Covington versus
and Lawler.
Robbie Lawler.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Clay Guida actually out there as well.
Ooh, I haven't
be a
seen
good
him. I
one.
feel like I haven't seen him fight in a long time.
Oh no, he's been on a little tear lately.
Maybe I just keep missing that. I don't catch every
I believe
fight
he was
night.
out of the UFC for a while. And then they
Maybe
signed him
that's what
back.
it is. Okay, yeah, that's probably what it is. Because in MMA, I don't watch a whole lot outside of UFC personally.
He's still just as much of a bull as he used to be. He'll just
I
come right
believe
at
it,
you.
man.
He don't care.
That was my boy.
Oh yeah. Never forget that fight with Anderson Silva though.
No, yeah.
Just laid him out real quick. That was Guida, right? Yeah, that was Silva's first fight in the UFC, I believe. They sent Guida after him.
Oh,
He was
that's
like,
right.
Okay, let me show you what I'm capable of real quick.
Man.
I mean, they try to do the same thing, sending Robbie Lawler after Ben Askren his first UFC fight.
Yeah.
They're known for doing that. The UFC is going to test you as soon as you step into the octagon.
Yeah.
I love that about him, though.
I got to say another top thing to watch this week. Also, Thursday, August 1st, you got MLB Game of the Day on ESPN. Of course, I'm a big Rays fan, but you got to see the Rays and the Red Sox battle it out to pull closer to the Yankees leading that AL East division that's, so tough every year. You get the Rays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Orioles. And not every team is great every year, but every team is competitive enough to make that division tough. There's usually not a clear-cut runaway winner. It's kind of like the NFC South,
Oh, yeah.
oddly enough, with the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Saints, the Panthers.
Just interchangeable
the
throughout the
Falcons.
year.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a new division winner every single year.
And there's always the dark horse that comes up at the end.
The worst to first. Yep.
Yep. Who do you think that's going to be in that division?
I can tell you the Bucks are not going to win that division right now.
I was talking baseball, but
Oh, sorry. Well, since I'm already on that, the Bucks are not winning that division.
Probably not.
For that, I'm going to say the Saints.
yeah.
Fairly easily too. I feel like
yeah.
Atlanta's on the verge of another collapse. I feel like Carolina just doesn't quite have it together.
I don't know what happened with that one.
And then Tampa, it's just such a big question mark with Jameis and Bruce Arians coming in and completely changing the defensive culture and so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
And Ndamukong Suh, let's not forget that addition.
I forgot y'all got him.
Yep, released Gerald McCoy and got. Or no, did we trade McCoy?
I think McCoy wanted a contract extension.
Yeah, and we weren't given it.
Just signed Ndamukong for a little bit.
Yeah, and
less.
we covered that in past episodes. As for the Rays, Red Sox, who do I see winning that division?
Yeah.
I think the Yankees will hold it out and win the division. I think the Rays will get in the playoffs.
I think like a dark horse situation where they just kind of like get it together.
The Rays have been playing hot this year, and they've got some really good pitching. So
that's always a clutch thing to have.
Yes,
especially come playoff time.
Yeah, and they have some pitchers that throw some mean breaking balls, especially the screwball. That if you follow me on Facebook, I reposted that video of that completely dirty pitch that just left the batter astounded. You got anything else you think people should definitely be watching for this week?
Not that I can think of, no. You got anything?
No, I think that's it.
I think we're all set.
So, I think that's it for the show.
Matt Schaub and Drew Lock. We'll be good.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Matt Schaub is still in the league.
Speaking of still in the league.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, Fitzpatrick is still pushing.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's some old quarterbacks out there that are hanging around.
I love them.
All right. Well, that's it for No Timeouts Left, episode 20. We thank you for joining us again, Money Mike Phillips.
Yes, sir.
And Coach
Thanks
Klein.
for having me, man.
Anytime, man. And sounds like it could be a regular thing. We'll have more on that in the future here. We'll probably be back in a week or two as I'm going on vacation. In the meantime, make sure to follow us on Twitter at No Timeouts Left 1. You can follow me at Coach Klein 90 on Twitter, at Coach Klein 54 on Instagram if you want to go that far with it. And where can they find you on Twitter?
Twitter and Instagram both the same. It's Mike Phillups. It's MICFILLUPS. Holla at me.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And don't forget to send in your Champs versus Chumps every week. We'll read them out on the show and give you a shout out. Thanks for listening.
We're relying on you.
Oh, and don't forget, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. We greatly appreciate that. Alrighty, guys. We'll see you next time.